Hello, 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 everyone. And welcome. Welcome to my live for Friday. And this Friday is about my butterfly journal called E.M.E.R.G.E, my class. So before we dive in, I just wanted to make sure, one, you could see me, two, you could hear me. So as it goes live, just make sure that you are sharing that. Someone, please share that with me. And then we will dive in to playing today. So hi, Rosemary and Tammy, Kimber, Gail, Leslie, Teresa, and Gwen. And thank you all for being here today. And thanks, Tammy. So we're all good. We can hear and see. So, so today was a little different. Usually on my Friday lives, thanks, Leslie, I just play in my art journals and just, see what happens. And today we're going to just see what happens anyway, because I have a plan, but not really, because I like winging it. I think you, as the audience, learn a lot from watching me wing things and seeing my thought process. I'll say see my head, but seeing my thought process. So I'm gonna wing it to a little bit. So this live is centered around the newest class that I have called E.M.E.R.G.E, a butterfly journal, which I'll put my hands in the spotlight in a second and share about it. The other thing that's happening right this week is that my membership, the Creative Playground, is also open for new members. If you are interested in that, there is a link below, or you can email me or make a comment or whatever, and we will set you up with finding out more about the playground. The launch is open until Monday, October 6th, I think that is. So yeah, and also this class, the Butterfly Journal class, is currently at the very low price of $5 until the end of Monday as well. So if you do not currently have that class and would like to get it, that link is in the description below, and you can grab it. When it goes up on Tuesday, it'll be at 24. So just for reference, okay? Hi, Rachel, hi. All right, let me put my hands in the spotlight. Okay, there we go. And so we can see what's going on. So the Butterfly Journal is, I think, from what I can remember, as far as all the lessons opening, the way that the journal worked was that there was a lesson opening since last Saturday. And I think the last lesson on a page opened this morning. So these were all the individual lessons in the journal, in case this is new to you. For some of you, you are already at this stage and have finished your pages. Excuse me. Let me just get a drink of water. My voice is going all of a sudden. And the last lesson opening tomorrow, we'll be putting the journal together. So this was yesterday's lesson. And then this was this morning's lesson that opened. So, and then, yeah, so then tomorrow will be the lesson on how to put it together. And yesterday we had a little live event to paint some washi tape. So if you wanted to use that washi tape that we painted to put the, create the tabs to put the journal together, you can do so. If you have not watched the replay, that replay is already up in the classroom for you, okay? So, and then tomorrow, Saturday, there will be one more live get together on Zoom. It won't be public on YouTube. If you would like to play along with me, I'm going to be showing you how I'm decorating some of the back pages, because the lessons were on the in-between and then these pages are now blank. So I'm going to just be playing in the journal and showing you some things that you can do within the journal, okay? So what I wanted to do for today was I had a bunch of blanks left And for those that haven't put their journal together yet, if you play along with me today, you can always add it in to the journal. Because I was having to do this ahead of time, I had already bound the journal with the 6 lessons, but you can obviously continue to play and make butterfly pages, and this can be as huge as you want it to be. There's no limit to it because of the way it's bound together. It just needs to be an even amount of pages as far as how I put the tabs in. So that's the only thing that you just want to keep in mind, that you have an even amount of pages. Okay. So, but what I wanted to do today was, I had a bunch, as I was saying, I had a bunch of these blanks left. This was, I had a prototype that I had played with, and realized that I didn't like the gray lines for everyone, and I wanted them to just be blank. So since I have a bunch, I thought I would just paint on some of these. I'm going to keep some watercolor and things in this camera because it does not like white, y'all. And I just wanted to paint butterflies, just use my watercolors, maybe my colored pencils. I have out like all my black and white pens, and using this sheet. This was one of the printables in the class for fun. It really didn't have a purpose in the class. I have used it. I used one of them on this page. I printed my original set on deli paper, and so that it was thin and wouldn't add a lot of bulk to the journal. And so, it was more just for fun. But this morning I printed it out on sticker paper, because who doesn't love a good butterfly sticker? And then, at some point I will fussy cut them out, and then I'll have butterfly stickers, or I will cut them up and send them out to my membership. I send them Happy Mail for accountability challenges every month. So, I send out like stuff like that, like stickers and things in envelopes. So I'm going to use these butterflies as inspiration. And, you could obviously find some butterflies online. Some of you might have pictures of butterflies, or butterfly or bird or nature books that you could pull from. But I'm going to use these as inspiration to paint on these butterflies. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do with watercolor. So the one, of course, that keeps showing up for me is this one here, this orange turquoise one. And you can use a pencil. I had a pencil here. Oh, here it is. If you want to, kind of give yourself some parameters, and I will, might as well. And you probably can't see, I'm trying to keep it light because I don't want it to show up, but I'll bring it up to the camera. I'm keeping it, yep, let's see, focus. I'm keeping the marks kind of light, but I just wanted to have some parameters to stay within, because once you start painting, sometimes you can get a little carried away. All right, so if you have taken the class, thank you, by the way. If you have bought the class, thank you very much for that support. You might have noticed one of the very first ones was cutting the butterfly apart, like cutting pieces out of it. And I got very carried away and like cut into the body because I wasn't paying attention. I didn't put, hi Heidi, I didn't put any marks on the page where the body was, and I ended up cutting in. So it never hurts to just, give yourself some quick pencil parameters to go with. All right. So I'm using this as inspiration. It doesn't mean that it will be exact. The other thing, I want to get some paper to sit on top of. Just bear with me. I'm going to just pop this here so I can see it, but I want to paint here. I am also working on cardstock. So that is something I want to talk about while I'm starting to paint this butterfly, is that I am not a true watercolorist. I rarely, if ever, actually use watercolor paper because I like to bind journals and bend paper and, cut it up. And watercolor paper tends to be a little thick for me. So I don't mind painting with watercolor on cardstock. However, I am well aware of the fact that cardstock and watercolor are not always friends, and that it can pill and it makes the paper warp and it just doesn't always look so pretty. And honestly, I don't give a rip. Okay. If you've been around me, you know that I don't care. What I care about is having fun and playing and trying stuff. So one of the things that has happened over the years while I work not on a traditional watercolor surface is that I have learned to manipulate watercolor because I have to force it to do what I want on crazy paper. And so, you tend to learn about yourself and you learn about your supplies by making them do unconventional, weird things. Okay. And if that stresses you out, that working on cardstock is stressful and it just makes you cringe, then that's absolutely fine. Grab watercolor paper and do this same thing on watercolor paper. There's absolutely no judgment about what it is. I'm just sharing with you what I do, okay, and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So the body of this is this kind of weird brown color. So I'm just going to lay some of that down. So for me, I am not trying to paint to sell the painting. Like, I'm not trying to paint these butterflies to sell them. I am pretty much painting these butterflies just for fun, literally just for fun, to get out of my head, to, reduce my stress, to have a good time, to play, to be curious. And I don't mind if it messes up. I don't mind if it doesn't come out exact, because to me, it's just always a fun opportunity to decide what to do next. Well, if it didn't work the way I thought it was going to work, what could I do to it to take it to a different level or take it to, a different place, whatever it is. And, if it also doesn't ever work, I can always cover it, throw it away. I mean, all those things. So it's no, like, to me, there's no failure in any of this creativity. It's just the trying and the playing and the doing. Yesterday when we were doing, I think it was yesterday, you'll have to bear with me, my days, it might have been 2 days ago for the washi tape live. There's a lot happening in my personal life, and so my days are kind of getting a little jumbled. But one of the ladies, Gwen, actually, who is here, did all this washi, put tape on freezer paper, freezer paper, and we did all the, she painted all her washi tape and everything, and then the tape that she had used stuck to the freezer paper. And, for some people that could have been an absolute failure. It didn't work. I can't use the washi tape. And, we were talking about it on the call about how, technically you could just cut the tape with the freezer paper and still use it in a journal. So it's not that it failed. It didn't work the way it was intended and the way she wanted it to work, but it wasn't a failure because it was still usable in the end. So, it's really just about the trying and the playing and the doing. Oh, Gwen just got a piece. Oh, she said she got a piece off. Maybe it wasn't dry enough. Maybe. Absolutely. And I would still try as much as, this is for Gwen, but for everyone, as much as you have to be really careful using heat with sticky stuff, because you don't want to like heat it and glue them together even more. Sometimes if you are putting heat along the tape as you pull it, it tends to release easier. I've seen a lot of watercolorists do that. So that's always an option, is to maybe try it that way. Sorry, excuse me. Someone here is checking in. Once someone had said that the feed is blurry. If it is blurry, it's, you know, I am on the best place I can be, honestly, as far as this feed. So I apologize if I'm blurry. There's not a whole lot I can do about it. I'm on the best internet that I have. I'm hardwired in and everything. And honestly, I have zero control over it. And it might not just be you, Heidi. It might be other people as well. So I do apologize. I do the best I can with the internets here, and then we move on. So is anyone playing and painting butterflies with me today? Or if that's not what you're doing, is there something else that you are doing while you're here creating? Maybe if the screen is blurry, you're just painting on your own and listening to the sound of my voice like a podcast, and just doing your thing. Yeah, I wish that I could figure out why it's blurry, y'all, but I do not know how to fix that. Honestly, I have absolutely no idea. I've tried multiple things. As many of you know, I've resorted to hardwiring in my laptop, and that's as strong as I can get with my thing. So I'm gonna, give me a second. I'm gonna get a little bit closer. That way, if it's blurry, maybe you're, you know, it's blurry, but it's big. As Heidi said, I'm working big. Make sure I'm on a full screen, I guess. I will keep working on that and see what I can do, but, you know, honestly, I feel like it's beyond my capacity to figure out why I'm still blurry. So the paper is getting pretty wet. That's why I'm bouncing around a lot. And Kimber, I'm glad you're painting with me. Yay! Can't wait to see what you do. And yes, Tammy, just chill after your day. Rachel says, it's taken me years to get past perfection and just chill. Now, if an arty endeavor doesn't go to plan, I mostly just think, oh well, and have fun going off pissed with it. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Hi, Deb. Deb's going to write a report while she's here. Y'all, it doesn't matter. Sometimes it's just nice to have somebody in the room. So whatever you're doing, welcome. So obviously you can see that this is the butterfly I'm trying. Well, I'm not really trying. I'm copying it, but I'm using it as inspiration, but I'm also going with my own instincts and picking up colors that I enjoy. And, you know, I don't like to pick one color, y'all. I like to pick all the colors. I'm a rainbow person when it comes to that. Why pick when I can do all of them? All right. Eating lunch. Yeah, you. I did finish. Rachel, you've been very busy, my friend. All right, so I've got some base color down, and I think I'm going to put some marks down as well, because in the end, I'm most likely, knowing myself, will doodle this. We'll add some doodle marks around everything once it's dry. So, you know, this is, you can be as realistic as you want. If you wanted to go and look for realistic, not realistic, but like actual photographs of butterflies. But I don't mind doing these. The ones that are on the sheet that I gave everyone are not really realistic. They're more like a fantasy butterfly. I would take like one butterfly that I found, and then I would start adjusting colors within Canva. And so they were making colors that, you know, maybe exist somewhere out there in nature, but not here in South Carolina. Okay. All right. So I'm also looking, I can look at a lot of this for inspiration. This, for those that just joined me, this is the one that I started as the inspiration. But, you know, look at all the different marks. You can see these are the same butterfly, just different colors, okay? There's ones that are just have dots on them, ones that have lots more markings on them, and some that are just really super plain. So lots of options for you to play with. And again, it's like if you think of it as fantasy, but a fantasy butterfly, as opposed to, I'm trying to recreate this realistic photo, then you kind of let yourself off the hook a little bit as far as perfection and what you're doing. By the way, my watercolor kit is right here. I'm sure you know that as I'm dipping into it, but it's always good. So I'm going to kind of see where, I don't care if they're exact, because I wasn't really looking for exact. And I think since I didn't make these big, I'll do more marks there. All right, so let's see. I'll let that dry a little bit. It's very wet. And I'll start playing with the body a little bit, put some marks in there. Because the body I only put one layer of paint on it, and it was pretty dry at this point. And I can heat it with a heat gun if I want to. For those, again, that are joining me, I'm working on cardstock, not watercolor paper. And yes, I know watercolor works much better on watercolor paper, but I already had butterflies cut out of cardstock. And I think it would also be fun to have a whole nother of the E.M.E.R.G.E journal that is just butterflies that I can paint. Okay, so it just gives me a different feeling. It's a completely different from the lessons I taught in the E.M.E.R.G.E class. So I hope one of the things, you know, I like the play on words with, that's when I named the class, was, you know, the whole idea of it, the outside being a chrysalis, and then the inside is all the butterflies that are emerging. You know, I hope that for those that have been doing it, you can, you know, do that play on words of did your creativity feel like it was emerging? And this week, did it feel like it was getting stronger? Were there things that you were doing that just felt like you were getting better and better with them? And I hope so. Now I'm just playing and trying things to see. I don't know. I love it. It's looking good. All right. I'm going to let this dry, and I think I'm just going to paint another one since here I am. Might as well paint two while I'm here. And then while this is drying, I can hit it with the gum, the heat gun if I want to, but I'm going to let it dry off to the side. And I will add some marks with some doodle pens, the white and black. So let's see. Do I have any inspiration I want to follow? Not really. I think I'm just going to play. I'm going to just play. So I'm going to make the body gray this time instead of brown. And I don't want to make it, well, I don't want to make it black. The reason being is that I would rather, it's hard with watercolor to go backwards. So if I make it black, I would have to, I wouldn't be able to add a lot of marks, but if I make it gray, then I have the ability to add decorations to it. Okay. Thank you, Heidi. And Tammy said that mentioning using the heat gun made me think I want to emboss a couple of my butterflies now. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you have embossing powder, those, you know, like go in and put the embossing liquid on some of the spots and maybe do some embossing on that. That would be absolutely gorgeous. This is what I want you to do. That is exactly what Tammy just did, was what is it that of what I did that sparked an idea. Okay, me just saying heat gun sparked that idea for Tammy. I never will tell you not to copy me because we learn by copying, I think. But allow yourself also to dive into your own ideas. Let your mind, as you're maybe following something I'm telling you or sharing, where is your mind wandering? Where your, you know, what supplies are coming to mind? What other ideas, another artist that you saw that you can combine something I've done with what the other artist has done. And you start to come up then with your own style and your own version of things. And I absolutely encourage you, go off on your own tangents. That's what we want you to do. Go off on a tangent. I feel like I need to dive into colors I've never used in here. I'm starting to run out on some of them. It's making me very sad. So you can see that as much as cardstock is not the best for watercolor, I'm managing. I don't think, as Heidi said, it's pretty good looking cardstock butterfly. I don't think it looks terrible. It might not, you know, blend as well. The water might not puddle as the same as on watercolor paper. And that's because it's not meant to. So how do you compensate for that? How do you add more water, less water, more paint? Do you allow it to have harder edges? You know, having the paint go into the purple is really beautiful. It's just making a different version of purple. All right, so maybe some metallics, or got some crazy neons over here. Let's see. Ooh, that's fun. It's also a great time to play with color and see what do you like together. Or you could use a whole butterfly. Maybe you just got a new watercolor kit and you could use the butterfly as a swatch. break it into sections, and then try out your new watercolor kit by swatching each, the color into each of the sections of the butterfly. And you ended up with a pretty painted butterfly and a swatch all at the same time. You can see what your new kit does. What does it look like? All right, let's see. Maybe this metallic blue. I don't know. I do have a swatch for this, but I'm actually deliberately not looking at it because I want us to be surprised. Because I'm playing, as opposed to, trying to find a specific color because I have a project in mind I need to be very specific about. It does happen. I do have some specific things I have to do. But, always through the lens of play. All right, let's see. Who can resist a little neon hot pink? Not me. I'm also using one brush. Oops, let's see. I'm going to replicate what I just did. I'm just using this one round brush, but if you are comfortable with a different brush or a smaller brush or an angle brush, many of you know I use angles and filberts a lot, then, pick up the brush that makes sense to you. But I also love being able to share that I've been doing everything with this number 8 round brush. I'm not making myself crazy. I'm just playing with it. I don't know if neon orange is a good thing, but why not? What's the worst that can happen, y'all? I have to cover it. I have to, put something else, add some neon somewhere else. A hardship. I actually have, like now that I've started on the neons, I actually have an entire neon kit. So what if we added some long lines? Whoa, sorry, not in the camera. All right, so let's see. And let's see, this might be a different pink. Alrighty. So just putting down some marks, and then I'm gonna let this one dry, and I'll go back to the other one and play with some of the markers. Okay. Ooh, it does look like a sunny day on the beach. Love it. So for those of you that are, oops, still wet. Okay, I might have to hit it with a dry, and then give me a second. I'm gonna mute for a second. Okay. So what I was going to say is, because there will be a replay of this, I wanted to talk a little bit. Just remember that the E.M.E.R.G.E class is lifetime access for those that have bought it. It is only $5 through the end of Monday, October 6th, I believe it is. Yes, October 6th, and then it goes up to 24. And then also that the membership is open, my creative playground. If you are interested, I have quite a few members here today. Thank you for those that are here. If you're interested in joining, it is open right now. And you can get the first month at half price if you join for the monthly amount. And if you join for a year, you get a bonus third month free, because the yearly price automatically gives you two free months. And so if you're interested in that, we'd love to have you. We have a few live sessions every month with lessons and get-togethers and sharing. And we have at least one new lesson uploaded to the classroom every month. This year has been 2. They're recorded, like pre-recorded. So yeah. Oh, I can show you actually the one I did today for those. This is a bonus for the ones that are here, because I love this project so much. We're working on a theme this year called Roy G. Biv, which is the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, and the techniques. And each month is a different color and a different art technique. And this month is gray, the color gray, and fiber arts. And I made this itty bitty journal, and it is made from the outside. Here is a fabric sample from couches that I got, and then the inside is all tea bags that are all little pockets. Okay, and each pocket has a circle. I know, rainbow. I tell y'all, I do everything rainbow. How I was thinking is that the journal represented the gray that people can feel, like a bit of depression, feeling sad, the gray that the world feels, the country feels, your personal life might feel gray. And then inside are the little pockets of gray that you put a bit of bright sunshine color. And so there's a different color circle in each of the pockets. Okay. And then it has this fun, I don't know where I got that, some class, and a couple of buttons. And then my project this year is all deconstructed projects, so they're all hanging on a stick. So this one gets hung onto part of the journal of it. So this, for those in the membership, will be out next Wednesday. But it was so stinking cute. When I was done, I just loved it so much that I was like, I will share it with y'all here today. So I am, again, making up my own stuff as far as marks are concerned. This is a fantasy butterfly. I'm not expecting it to be realistic. If you've noticed, usually when I do something to one side, I do it to the other. So it makes me, when I think of drawing mandalas, that's one of my rules. I have very few rules, y'all, but that's one of my rules, is that what I do if I make a mark, I continue it through the whole mandala. So for a butterfly, something that is equal-ish or symmetrical, I should say, if I do something to one side, I tend to just go and do it to the other. That way I don't have to worry much about forgetting what it is I did. because I'm doing it automatically. So a lot of butterflies have a very strong black on their wings. So I don't know if I want to do that or not, but we're gonna maybe just dots. I'm liking just doing this quick sketchy stuff to the butterfly. So if also for those that are here, if you have any questions about the butterfly class, please let me know. I mean, honestly, you're here, I'm here live. If you have a question about creativity in general, put it in the chat and I will be happy to address it if I can. Fun. All right. So a couple things. One, I feel like it needs a stronger black. I'm going to try, this is an experiment. I'm running my black marker along the edge because it felt like it needed something. So I'm trying to catch the edge but not outline it completely. And yes, I might get black on the back because this is wet. I will get black, but I will do something there, right? I'll figure it out. Yeah, it just gives it a stronger edge for me. If you like things to be very light and delicate, putting this black edge might not be for you. And that's okay. It's lovely to watch someone else try something and then decide, well, I don't like the way it came out on their project, so I won't do it on mine. There you have it. Decision done, and you don't have to worry about it. This paint marker has flattened itself out for some reason. And I don't know how I managed to get it have a flat top, but I have one that has a flat top and it helps make absolutely gorgeous dots. I just don't know how I managed to do that. I think when I was drawing the mandala on my wall, I wore the tip down somehow. But I will not argue with it because it makes amazing dots. All right. Having trouble talking while I'm doing this, so I'm just dotting it and letting it speak for itself. Boop, boop. Fun. So the other thing that you can do, sorry, excuse me, just threw my phone, it was in the way, is to grab colored pencils and let's see, what am I looking for? Something like this. Because the one thing that does love a good cardstock is a colored pencil. So I absolutely love to combine colored pencil and watercolor. I feel like I can really enhance my watercolor a lot with the colored pencil. And of course, you could use your Inktense pencils. I've talked about them quite a bit recently. So don't be afraid to grab some Inktense pencils. And Inktense pencils, for those that are not familiar, these are an Inktense, Derwent Inktense. And what it is the tip, the ink, it's ink inside as opposed to watercolor. It is still water soluble, but when it dries, it is more permanent. They're also very vibrant. But I am loving the colored pencil. See the difference? I just added some of this to that. I'm going to add it to here. So it might be subtle, especially on my blurry, my blurry feed that y'all are watching. Sorry about that. Again, we'll still continue to work on that little issue. I don't know why it does it, because it doesn't seem to happen on Zoom. It just seems to happen here on YouTube. So no, I don't think it's just you. It's not just you, Heidi. It's because Leslie said it was happening to her too. So I know it's not just you, but Gwen said, have I used the Inktense blocks? No, I do not. I have not used Inktense blocks, Gwen. I only have the pencils. But from what I've heard, they seem to be very similar in what they do. So this is just a great way to keep playing. Ooh, look there, love that. With adding color and shading is to add the color pencils in. And I have the color pencils that I use are Prismacolor. I inherited them. I think this is a metallic. It's a metallic gold. Look at that. I'm going to add some of that. I inherited them from my husband, but I absolutely love them, and I have tried cheaper versions. And yes, you can use cheaper versions like a Crayola, but if you really love colored pencils, then you might want to invest in a little Prismacolor pencil because they're really good. Love it. Let's see. I feel like I need a little more shading on here. Indigo blue. There you go. That's what I'm looking. Yes, Gwen is saying that she has both, and like the art store doesn't always have the colors. So one of the things I discovered, I bought Inktense, like the set of 12. And weirdly enough, it did not have a purple in it. Why? I do not know. But anyway, it doesn't have purple. So if you have a Blick art supply or, like an art supply that has them loose, that's where I went and I kind of filled up with my Inktense pencils with colors that I loved and colors that I felt like I would use a lot that were missing from the original set. So obviously if you love them, then buying the big set might be good for you, but for me, I would not have used the big set. I'd go to the same colors over and over and over again. You can see it even with my watercolors. I tend to use the same set over and over again. So for me, I'm just playing, just adding whatever, as I'm looking at it, does it feel like it needs a little more depth here, a little more depth there? I felt like these needed another color, so I grabbed indigo blue so that they would have, it just has a little more oomph to it. This section seems too blah, but I don't want to add color. So I'm just going to add some marks. Some dots. I went down in size with my paint pen so that I could create some smaller dots, concentrated near the body, and just real loose further out. I'll take it off of this. And then the final thing is to see about some white. So as we're getting on time, I'll play with this one a little bit, but I might not get to finish that one. But this was meant to just be an inspiring little brouhaha for y'all. Oh, there. I'm like, where's my piece of paper? It's right in front of me. And so I'm hoping that it gave you some ideas to go and play with, either within the butterfly journal if you own it, to just play with the butterflies, play with your supplies. Even if what you watched today just made you go and take a bit of collage and glue it down, my job here is done. Just want to inspire you to try, y'all. Try. Do a little something. One of the, I have, in my membership, we have an accountability invitation. I mean, it is a challenge, yes, but it's, it's always an invitation in my world. You never have to do anything. But we have a accountability invitation every month. And this month, I had run across someone, and it seems to be a trend. Maybe that's why I keep seeing it on social media, is because it's a trend, called Scrap-A-Day, where you just, punch a scrap or rip a scrap or whatever you want to do with the scrap, and glue it down on a page. It's purely for fun. There's no like, I'm building a picture, although, it's your scrap. You do you. I've seen people, do it with stuff in their life, like a packaging. They just punch a scrap out of the packaging. Or I've seen some people go and find, a face a day in a magazine, and all different. So I'll share with you what I'm doing. Today, obviously, is October the 3rd, so do not expect anything spectacular, but I will show you what I'm doing, and maybe it will inspire you to try and to go down the rabbit hole of Scrap-A-Day. If you're an Instagram person and you go into Instagram and go to the hashtag, I think it's @scrap-a-day. So the word scrap, and the word day. You'll get to see what other people are doing. So mine is, okay, I was so good, I actually might have put it away. Oh, there it is. I see it. Not that it's anything special, y'all. It's not that special. I am taking this punch. So this is how I'm keeping myself accountable. It's October. It's the fall. This looks like a fall leaf to me. I have this punch sitting on my desk at all times. And so for the last 3 days, I've just grabbed a scrap that was sitting somewhere on my desk, and I'm punching out a leaf. And then I'm just going to glue them onto this page. So by the end of 31 days, I will have a page of falling leaves. And for no other reason than every day, if I do nothing else, I punch out a scrap and I glue it on the page. Okay. And so it is holding me accountable to stepping into my art studio. It's holding me accountable to doing something every day. All right. So, in case you needed something fun to do for October, October is also the challenge Inktober, especially out on Instagram. So you can find lots of people participating in Inktober. So if you're looking for something fun to do, that's also something you can dive into during the month of October, is Inktober. So there it is, my butterfly, and it still folds. The back is a hot mess, but I'll paint that, okay? But if I was to have a whole journal of these, okay? So this would be on this side. So nothing says I can't paint, even though it's tab bindings. Like, I'll show you because it's always good to have a visual. Even though they're different shapes, because I made the butterflies all different shapes, they're not all the same. I'm not sure, Tammy, the ads, sorry. The ads might not have been turned off for this one. It was a last minute turning it on thing, so I might have forgotten to turn the ads off. Sorry. I apologize, y'all. Again, there's a lot happening behind the scenes that many of you don't know anything about. So I just wanted to say, if I miss something, just let me know. I will fix it. If things go a little awry, just know that I'm doing my best here and that you just let me know. If I miss something, I will always correct it. Okay, thank you. And so I probably missed the ads, Tammy. Sorry, I know how annoying they are. So anyway, the way the journal is that the pages would be different. So obviously this butterfly would, would be this. But I can still paint the butterfly this way as well, even though the wings are different. It doesn't really matter. You can still have a full butterfly visually, even though the wings are different. Okay, so anyway, there's that. So I'm going to work on this one in my leisure at some point, because the other thing that you can do for yourself is sometimes your watercolors don't travel with you, but a doodle pen and some colored pencils are not as messy, so it wouldn't really matter. So, paint a bunch, and then you can take them and, while you're watching TV or sitting on your porch or wherever you're doing, you can finish them up with some doodling and some colored pencils and really enhance them. Because I have to say, I absolutely love the combination of the color pencil and the watercolor. I think it's lovely. So, so yes. All right. Any questions on butterflies? Any questions on anything in general? I'm going to put my face back in the spotlight just to close us out. Thank you, everyone, for coming and hanging out with me today. We will be back, hopefully, if I can figure out the blurry stuff on YouTube, in 2 weeks on the 17th. So October 17th, if you would like to just make a note in your calendar that, sorry, I'm reading the chat as I'm doing this. Stop reading the chat, I can't see. If you want to make a note in your calendar that the next time I'm live will be October the 17th, I'll be back just playing in my art journals with my piles of happy mail that I absolutely love getting. And that's when I really allow myself to dive into all the happy mail that y'all send me. And I will, yeah, I think that's all I got for today. Again, if you would like the butterfly journal class and you do not currently have it, please go to the link below. It will be $5 through October 6th. And the same thing, the membership is open. We would love to have you and join us for, it is an absolutely lovely community. Our live events that we get together are very much like, helping each other. It's, obviously people come to me for help, but we also go to each other, and I go to them and my community for help as well with what's going on. And yeah, just spend some time this weekend just playing. It's always what I say at the end of, usually at the end of my YouTube lives. I encourage you over the next 3 days. This is Friday. You got Saturday and Sunday. Find 15 minutes and do something, whether it's 5 minutes every day, it's 15 minutes, while you're drinking your cup of coffee, you just do a little doodly or something. That would be great. Rosemary, do I have a monthly calendar for what specifically? What I do, I guess, would be your question. Is maybe that's what your question is. I'm going to kind of answer what I think you might mean, but please feel free to correct me. As far as YouTube lives, I tend to go every 2 weeks, but it just depends on life in general. Um, as the best thing that anyone can do is to get on my email list. If you are on my newsletter, I announce everything there. Okay. You would get an email that says, I'm going to be on YouTube live, today, or, if I can announce it ahead of time, I will. But for those that are wondering how to keep a track of me, my newsletter, it goes out every Sunday, and that is absolutely, yeah, that's how you find out everything, Rosemary. So one thing I will say is that I do forget to tell people ahead of time I'm going to be on YouTube Live. I tend to send an email. I announce it here, and then I send an email that morning, but I will do better about announcing it ahead of time as best I can, because I have a section in my newsletter that is devoted just to YouTube. YouTube Inspiration, I think it's called, within the newsletter on the Sunday one. So you can always check that. I hope that helps, Rosemary. And then always don't forget that you can email me if you have a question and you're like, I know you said something on a live, or you mentioned a date or whatever it is, then email me. And if I can remember what it is that I said, I will share that with you. Because, I babble and sometimes I forget what I'm saying. So, thank you all again for being here with me, and we will see you all. If you are in the butterfly class, then I will see some of you tomorrow afternoon, where we're going to play, use it as art journal. And if you are in my email list right now, where you're what I'm calling membership curious and are looking to see more about being part of my membership, then I have a live Q&A, studio, office hours, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow afternoon. And that went out to those that are on that email list. Okay. So any questions, email me. If not, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see y'all soon. Okay. Thanks so much, people.